You're listening to The Grip, where we take hold of mindset and martial arts. Now, let's get started. Today's guest is not only a standout leader in West Texas martial arts, but someone who played a pivotal role in shaping my own journey on the mats. With over 20 years of experience, including boxing, Muay Thai, and BJJ, he's earned his first degree black belt and built a reputation as a dedicated coach. He's the head coach and co-owner of Breed MMA in Lubbock, Texas, where he's led and developed an incredibly successful team. Under his leadership, he's coached multiple IBJJF and NAGA medalists, and in 2025, his youth team earned the top national ranking, #1 in the country. On top of that, he is a 2025 Team USA youth representative. But beyond the accolades and titles, this guest is someone who means a lot to me personally. My first coach and someone who helped lay the foundation for my martial arts journey. It's an honor to welcome to the show, Jason Gallegos.
Man, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. Just when you name it off that way, even when you were asking me questions before this, and I was thinking about, the past, we really have done a lot. It's crazy.
And I can't wait to dive into it because I only know a sliver of it. But I thought what more fitting of a person to have on for my first episode. And as I start this podcasting journey, which, mind you, is a very vulnerable and uncomfortable experience. I think this is old news for you because you saw me in a very vulnerable and uncomfortable experience when I first started BJJ. And so I think that's probably just a common thing you're used to seeing people as they come into kind of an uncomfortable space initially.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu especially is very uncomfortable. Everyone wants to learn everything right off the bat. They want you to show them this cool move on day one. And I'm like, before I can even do that, you got to be comfortable. Like, how do you know you're going to be okay with someone sitting on top of you, laying on top of you,
Right.
It's very vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
And I think in order for you to get used to that, you have to get comfortable first. Same thing I teach the kids, same thing I teach adults. It has to have a reason to want to go, one, but you also really have to enjoy this. And not a lot of people enjoy that when it's uncomfortable.
Absolutely. And I think you just hit the nail on the head. It's almost, I don't know if you ever truly get comfortable with martial arts in general. It's like almost being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Right.
Is for some reason we just keep on coming back and getting in that uncomfortable space because I think there's so much that can be gained from that.
Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with it, you could say. I
Don't we all?
Yeah. I think it's good though to kind of hate it a little bit, because that comes from maybe the frustrations of it, the problem-solving aspect of it. It's a reason for me to want to keep going. Because I think you can get good at this, very good. I don't know if you'll ever truly master it because it's always evolving,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's never ending. So I think that's pretty cool part about this journey. It never ends.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before we get into the nitty-gritty of now, I want to take it back to life before martial arts. So can you walk me through just where you were growing up and what life was like before you even got on the mats?
Yeah, no, I'm here from Lubbock, Texas. I was a baseball kid growing up.
Okay.
That's all I played. My dad was the head coach. I loved it. I loved baseball. I thought I was going to do it professionally. That's how much I loved it. But even as early as probably 5 years old, I always liked fighting. I liked like martial arts stuff, like whether it was on a movie or TV show, whatever it was. I had a fascination with it, but I was just never allowed to do it. My dad taught me how to box a little bit. He was a boxer himself. So I learned a little bit from him, but it was always about baseball. I couldn't do anything else. And that was okay. I couldn't say no. It was my dad. It was just a part of our family, baseball. So I did that as a kid up until high school. I kind of got burnt out. I'll be honest with you. I got really burnt out at an early age because like I said, it was every day. we would practice damn near every day, and he took it serious. Me being the coach's son, I
Yeah.
felt like I had to always set the example and, like, I was always on time in practice. I was always working. If not, I was gonna get chewed out. So I kind of learned from an early age, practice, show up every day. I think it helped. It definitely shaped me, but I don't know. It was just something about fighting that always fascinated me, and I don't know. It was something I knew that I wanted to pursue as I got older.
Did your dad coach you all the way from starting age in elementary school all the way through junior high and high school as well?
Yeah, I was started at 5. At 14, as a freshman in high school, that's when I was gonna play ball in high school. And I just saw the politics side of it, right away. I saw what youth sports was about on a organized level. I was like, man, we ran it better in a little league. You know what I mean? Like, we had more fun then. So I just saw the little politics side of it. And like I said, I
Sure.
lost interest. All my friends were playing basketball and football, and I was the only one out there just by myself. And so I didn't really like that aspect. And I decided to do basketball in high school.
Okay. So you switched right when you got into your freshman year to basketball then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
I
played that
didn't
for 4 years.
Okay. I didn't realize that you had that background in baseball. My husband, yeah, you know Gavin.
Yeah,
He was big baseball player all the way from, when he was little through high school and a little bit of college as well, and that's something that I thought was interesting kind of about that sport in general is it is a year-round sort of thing as far as, like, fall ball, then you get into season play, and then you have summer
yeah,
camps, and so it can truly be a grind
yeah.
and a
It was
commitment.
nonstop.
Yeah, and living in a place like Texas too, where it doesn't really ever get that bad of weather, it probably can be just
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like I said, when you're the dad's coach, you gotta do everything. Even there's times he would do, like little private lessons, practices with kids, and so it's supposed to be my day off. He's like, "No, you're going to the park. We're gonna work with them. We're gonna." So I was like, "Damn!" So I was always out there. But like I said, I learned about work ethic and how to just always show up and put the work in.
How would you describe your dad's coaching style?
It was rough. It
Yeah,
was it was tough. It was all about the discipline side. We had our team our team was like a team of misfits. It was all the kids that none of the other teams wanted for whatever reasons, home reasons, grades, trouble, whatever it was. And my dad always took them in. And yeah, we competed. We beat a lot of top teams that were together for a long time. Is because I think he disciplined us. We respected him, but we had a healthy amount of fear in him, because
a
he
little
would
bit
get
of
on
tough
to.
love.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he would, yeah, let you in practice, we'd run if we had to run, but he was dialed in, and, it really set an example for us, which kinda helped me with my coaching later. It's funny to think about that. It kinda rubbed off.
To think about some of the, his morals and
Yeah.
approach to coaching, you took some of the nuggets from him.
Yeah, yeah, I still got a little old school mentality in me, but
I
it's
can see
good, it
that.
works out.
Yeah, for sure. Clearly is. So how did he take to it when you switched from baseball to basketball?
Um, that's a good question. I don't think he was too disappointed. I think, he knew he got me to where he needed. Um, but he really saw that I wasn't into it anymore. I kind of fell out of love with it. And both my parents, they've been very supportive about whatever I want to do. Like, if you're gonna do it, you better do it though. You know what I mean? It's that type of situation. So they always let me freely pick what I wanted to do. So I don't think he was too upset. He loves baseball, but I think he understood. He was a coach for 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So as he got older, I just think he wanted to take some time himself and just kind of,
Absolutely.
decompress from baseball a little bit. And then yeah, so I just played basketball throughout high school, and that was okay. I knew I wasn't going to
You're
NBA.
out I was gonna say you were out there dunking it.
I wish. I wish. I knew it wasn't for me. I knew, but I liked it. I was really good,
Yeah,
but I just knew it wasn't taking me far. I knew right away. But I enjoyed practicing. That was my thing.
yeah,
There was other guys who were better than me on the team, definitely better than me. I don't think none of them could outwork me, you know,
yeah.
whatever it was, sprinting, whatever we had to do in practice. I loved it. I loved it. And like I said, I knew my dad told me, he said, when you're 18 years old, he goes, you could join the gym. You could do whatever you want. He goes, but you have to graduate, finish school, and then you can start it. He goes, you're going to pay for it yourself and you're going to drive yourself. He goes, but you're going to show up. If that's what you want to do, okay, but you're going to do it. I was like, damn, okay. So it kind of gave me an incentive, like those years in school, to just train and get like my conditioning ready. Because once I started the gym, I wanted to be good to go, and not
Mm-hmm.
trying to play catch up. I was very well conditioned when I started, but yeah, he gave me that incentive. You turn 18, you could do what you want to do. I was like, okay.
There you go.
And yeah, it
Kind
got
of
me through.
prepping you ahead of time, but also showing you the value of just commitment. Like once you're in, you're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Because I hated school.
Yeah.
I hated school. I knew it wasn't for me. I wasn't a dumb kid, but you know what I mean? There was nothing that excited me or interested me. And then the college level, there was the same thing. I knew I wasn't going to college. Well, again, my parents were okay with that, but they were like, if you're going to do something, you better do it.
Exactly. And
So
you're
it
not
it
alone
was
on
cool.
that either, Jason. I think there's so many people out there that can relate to that, that school is just not their jam or that's just not the
Yeah.
route for them. But I think that also goes to show the value of just extracurricular activities,
Yeah.
sports, whatever it may be, the arts, any kind of interest that these people have, whether it's from an individual level or group setting.
Yeah.
So,
It could take
uh,
you far now. It really could.
So what was that transition like? So, because I think of baseball and some of these team sports, you have baseball, but there's still like a very much an individual level to baseball. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
a lot of the, plays and the onus is still on you as an individual and how you perform in that one moment. And then transitioning into basketball, which is still, yes, it is an individual point, but it reminds me still more of like all the pieces to a puzzle. It's more of a group and team sport. So did you like that transition going from more of a individual game to then switching to more of like a group setting?
I don't think so. I think he did a good job of kind of uniting all of us together. I think that's what we learned a lot. I could take a lot from the baseball aspect. It really was a team. We everyone got close with each other. And so once it switched over to basketball, I tried to do the same thing, at least shake everyone's hand, be, at least respectful of your teammates. So that part wasn't hard at all. The individual aspect, I loved it because it's competition. I love competition. I love sports, but the root of it is competition, So I always
Absolutely.
enjoy just competing and trying to see who can beat the other person, you know. I was fascinated with that, no matter what it was. If I didn't know how to do it, I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna try to beat you at it. I don't know. I've always been interested in that aspect. So it wasn't that much of a transition. I enjoyed it. I had fun.
Very cool. So that gives us kind of a clear idea of your just level of discipline and structure that you had growing up. Did you have siblings or were you only child?
Yeah, I got an older sister.
Okay. Was she
Yeah.
into sports as well?
No.
Okay. So
No.
your dad was probably pretty stoked then once you came along and you were ready to grind it out.
Oh yeah, I think so. He he wouldn't say that, but yeah, I think he'd admit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
No.
cool.
My sister was the girly girl of the family.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his daughter. He loves her. My parents love her.
Older sister?
Older
You
sister,
said?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what were some of your early influences then when it came to like combat sports?
Oh man, we're talking. I mean, as a kid, obviously like Bruce Leroy type of martial arts movies. I loved them. I loved the whole culture aspect. That's where it started for me. Um, like I said, I like boxing. I like boxing, but I think as I got older, you really started to see the explosion of MMA. Like it was slowly starting to take off. And I just thought that was so much cooler than boxing. Like I didn't understand what was going on, but I mean it looked cool. I was interested in the kicking and the whole submitting. I thought this is new.
Yeah.
And it was starting to it was on TV regularly and you start to see it more often. And so I just got obsessed with the UFC. Um, I would say probably like Anderson Silva. He was the first one where it kind of blew my mind, where I'm like, wow, this is what you can really be capable of. And he had that whole martial arts aspect, and I thought it was I thought it was amazing. You know, you looked up to him. But then you see like a guy like a Nick Diaz come along, and I'm like, it's a little more relatable.
Yeah.
You know, like I love Anderson, but I'm not Brazilian. You
Yeah.
know, I don't quite understand his lifestyle. It's not me. But someone like a Nick Diaz, I come from that place. Like I understand his life and his story a little bit more. And to see someone like him make it, I'm like, but still live that warrior martial arts mentality. I thought again that fascinated me to where I felt like maybe I can do it. You
Yeah.
know, maybe someone like me from this place that not too many people know of, never really heard about us, you know. They'll know Texas Tech and they're like, where's Lubbock? What's Lubbock? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So I felt like, man, if he could make it, I feel like I could make it. So probably those two, probably good influences on me.
Yeah. So you had a lot of influences from either, watching it on TV, movies. Did you know any family, relatives, friends that fought?
I had a lot of friends who did boxing, you know. They boxed here at a gym. No one that I really knew. Like I said, my dad was an amateur boxer a little bit. Never took it professionally. Yeah, I had a lot of family members maybe who dabbled in it, but nobody that I really related to and knew other than like my boxing friends or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. So what drew you into martial arts initially?
Man,
Can you think
I'm a
of the
silent
first
guy.
time that you walked into a gym?
I do. I didn't like it. I thought
Okay.
it stunk. I thought it was hot. I was probably man, I was probably like 11, 12 years old. It was one of those free trial uh things. And so you had a couple classes and I went in there. And no, it just wasn't for me. I was like, maybe it's just my age. But I was like, I'm not comfortable in here. You know, I'm used to like a boxing gym, but seeing this, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't get it. Don't make sense to me. So I never went back. But it
So
wasn't until it
so
wasn't.
that was like junior high then. So did
Yeah,
you tell your dad, "Hey, I wanna go try this class?" And
yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, all right.
yeah. There was like, all right, you got your little free trial. Okay, we'll do it, and
Okay."
we'll see what it's about. But yeah, we both walked away like we ain't doing that again.
So what advice would you give, your younger self either in that moment or when you made that switch eventually down the road where you're like, "Okay, I'm gonna give this another shot."
Just try it. Like, why not try it? I'm a big believer in just trying things. If you have a passion for it and you really like it, like why not go for it? You know, like with you doing this whole thing, like I think this is so fucking cool. I don't know if I can cuss on here,
You
but
can say whatever you want.
it's just so fucking cool what you're doing. You know, like why not go for it? You know, if it's something that you have an excitement in and you really enjoy it, I tell people all the time, man, just go for it. You
Yeah.
know, don't live with regret. You know,
Yeah,
that's a very
absolutely.
cliche thing people say, you know, and they would tell me that all the time. Yeah, whatever. But as you get older, I'm like, man, I'm really glad that I went for the things that I went for. Even the stuff that maybe didn't work out, I'm thankful for it. You
Mhm.
know, I don't have no what ifs. And so I tell people all the time, like, why not just go for it? You know,
Yeah,
what you got to lose? You didn't have it to start with, you know, but give yourself a chance, give yourself an opportunity to do something with your life. You know what I mean?
exactly, exactly. And
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
just,
you don't know what you don't know, and so I think sometimes too, if even something sounds remotely, intriguing, give it a go. You might
yeah,
realize, "Oh, man, that place does stink," and it, was an
yeah.
awkward thing for me and I don't wanna do it, but you're never gonna know until you try. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
you
just
gotta
stay patient and nothing's gonna come overnight. You have to work at it, which I already had from the baseball lesson. You know, just work at it. Practice. You don't feel like going? Practice. Like it's the best way to learn, you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. So no, I'm glad I'm thankful that I had that. And yeah, that's what I would tell my younger self. Just do it.
Yeah, so you've played basketball all through high school. Then then what? What was the timeline once you finished high school? Was the deal that you and your dad were making was you were already kind of thinking about going into a gym like as in martial arts gym or just
Yeah.
general YMCA or what, when was this discussion of like, "Hey, I think I'm going to try this again."
So there was a gym, the gym that I started at, they opened up, I want to say when I was a sophomore in high school. Maybe a junior, somewhere around that time, was a fighter by the name of Tony Bonello. He was the owner of the gym. And he was kind of a big deal. He was from Australia, big Australian dude, tatted up. He was cool. He was my first coach, but I knew him from other, fights and big things. He even had like a TV show that he was on where he fought on. So that was the gym at the time. And so I knew that I wanted to train with them. They were a Half Gracie affiliate. So Half
Okay.
Gracie was the jiu-jitsu there. And so, like he said, when you turn 18, you can do it. So, okay. So I graduated in May on a Saturday, and I enrolled that Monday in May. So it's just came up on 15 years that I've been doing this total.
Wow.
Yeah. So when it was, I enrolled on a Monday, and that was it. I never looked back. That was the same gym I started at. The gym that we're at today, that I own, is still a version of that gym. So we're pretty much the longest running gym, here in West Texas, because it started in that gym. It's gone through one name change, couple different ownership, but for the most part, I've been a part since the beginning. And I think that's what's a little more special to me.
Absolutely. We've got to see so much growth in
Yeah.
over a decade.
Yeah. A lot of growth, a lot of good times, a lot of bad times, and a lot of mistakes that, I learned from. So I can't look at it as a bad experience. It was a great experience. I feel like at times I forgot to enjoy the journey. You're just in it so much that there's just days where you're going into the gym and you're just there, but you're on autopilot. You know what
Going through the
I'm saying?
motions.
Just going through the motions. And that was rough, but you had to get through it when you had to learn. And now we're at a point now where every day, man, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy going to the gym and whether it's coaching, teaching, training myself, sparring, whatever. I love it. I love it. Thank I'm thankful that I had those moments back then to help me now help the younger generation so they don't go through kind of what we went through back then.
And
And I think that's what we're doing now. And yeah, I'm having a blast with it.
that's a dream.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good. So, okay, still take me back a little bit. So, what was the differentiation between when you started boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, all that, striking,
Mhm.
versus when you started this gym at 18? Was it all BJJ?
No, it was everything. It was a full fight
Everything.
gym. Yeah, they had
Okay.
a fight team. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so when you jumped in, were you doing everything?
So when I started, it was just striking.
Okay.
It was just striking. And because I had the boxing background, so I figured I'll be okay. I could handle myself. Boy, I learned quick. Like it was completely different. My stance was off. They're kicking me in the legs. Like I didn't even know how to hold the pads, so I'm getting hit with the pads. It was frustrating. And I got frustrated. And I probably 2 months after that, I quit. I really quit. I went home and I didn't train for like a month. I paid for that month, but then I was like, I'm done with this. I was like, and then, that hurt. I was crushing. It was like, maybe this ain't for me. What am I going to do now? And then I'll never forget, I didn't go for like a month. My coach called me a month later. I mean, yeah, he was my coach, but he wasn't paying attention to me. I'm the white belt 2 months in. He helps you out a little bit, but he's just walking around. He don't know who you are. And he called me
Or so
and
you
he was like,
thought.
yeah, he goes, hey, champ. He used to call me champ. He said, hey, champ. He goes, where you been? I was like, who's this? He said, it's Coach Tony. And he's like, I haven't seen you around. Just want to check in on you, make sure everything's okay. I was like, wow. I was like, no, everything's good. I was just busy. I had some things to do. I'll be back. I'll be back. He said, all right, champ. He goes, just checking in on you. All right. And man, I hung up and I'm like, damn, like, maybe he did notice me, maybe he saw something, because I was there every day, every class, for the striking at least. And I think he saw something in me, and not a lot of coaches do that.
I was just
Just
gonna
calling
say,
you up.
that just goes to show the impact a coach can make by just
Yeah.
those small little acts
Yeah.
and the
No, I
difference.
felt that. And that gave me a little more motivation to go back. So I was like, yeah, I said, I haven't tried it all. Right. I said, I just did the striking. I said, let me give this jujitsu a chance. Right. Have no really interest in it, but I know you have to learn it if you want to do this. So I was like, okay. I said, let me at least try it. And first day was pretty cool, pretty interesting. But I didn't roll with anybody. You know, I just kind of learned what it was. The second day, I do the class. We have the rolling at the end. That coach put me with this 19-year-old blue belt, this white girl, right? He's like, go with her. I was like, really? I was like, I mean, I'm sure she knows something. I was like, but she can't be stronger than me, you know? Like, I was like, can I go hard? He's like, you go hard, go hard. Okay. As I started going with her, and she caught me in a triangle. She caught me in a triangle, and I remember, like, I didn't know what happened. And her legs are wrapped around me, and I can remember, like, I'm slowly starting to choke. I'm okay, I'm okay.
I'm not
And then
tapping. I'm
just
not tapping.
slowly, I'm like, it felt like someone was turning the lights off. And then I see the coach walks around, and he's standing right in front of us. So I'm looking up at him, and he's just standing there. He's kind of smiling. And I was like, I remember this played in my mind. I said, what's more embarrassing? I said, do I fall asleep in front of him or do I tap in front of him? I said, nah, let me go ahead and tap. So I tapped, and he just kind of laughed. He smiled, walked away. And I remember I just sat back there, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? I was like, I felt so vulnerable, you know, and helpless. I was like, this girl, 19, 20-year-old girl just made me feel helpless. I was like, I gotta learn this. Whether I want to do it or not, I don't know. But I gotta at least learn this because I can't feel like that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when I really decided, okay, let me just go in. I'm gonna still do everything, but let me kind of focus on this jujitsu a little bit more because it's interesting. Like I said, don't know if I like it, but I have a fascination with it, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's competition,
Yeah.
right? So
New
it
change of
kind of
pace.
right, and it kind of everything came full circle to where I was like, I can learn something and do something productive, but it's competition. I get to scratch that itch, I guess, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what, you said you were doing it for a couple of months. Was it something specific that happened that you're like, I'm done, I'm not going in? Or was it just a compilation of the challenges that you were facing with what
Yeah.
striking was thrown at you?
I think it was just that. It was overwhelming, you know? I was like, I gotta learn this, then I gotta learn that, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I felt lost. I felt helpless. And there was a lot of students at the gym. So, you know, we only had like 3 coaches, so they can't all be with you. And then
Yeah.
just looking at all this talent in this room, I'm like, am I even gonna survive? I was
Yeah.
very frustrating. That was very challenging, but I don't know. I don't know.
When you have somebody walking into a gym, I mean, is that something that you would advise them or you think makes a difference as far as, let's say somebody has never done any martial arts at all, comes into a gym that has a little bit of everything, Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu. Do you, recommend to them, yeah, give it a go, try everything? Or do you kind of try and guide them into, let's give just one a shot, see if you like it, and then
Yeah.
you can dabble in the others? Or how do
I
you approach that?
If it's just a casual person, let's say they don't know anything, like you said, I would advise, let's do one thing, all right? Let's do one thing. Maybe you have an interest in striking, we can do striking, all right? If you have no clue what you wanna do, you're just interested, I would probably recommend jujitsu,
Mhm.
you know? If it's someone that knows they wanna fight and they wanna do it, I'll make them do everything, you
Sure.
know? So it just depends on who it is, but I want them to again, you tell me what you wanna do. All
Mhm.
right. And I'll help you along the way. Cause at the end of the day, it's an individual sport and we have to make our decisions for ourselves. We can't fight for you. I can help you there, but once it's time to go, I can't fight for you, you
Mhm.
know? So I want you to have that confidence to make those decisions for yourself. Like, what do you want to do? If that's what you want to do, then let's do it. I'll help you with it. Right. It's like, that's my job as a coach to
Yeah.
point you in the direction and help you make your decisions, not me make your decisions for you.
Mhm.
And I think that's what gets lost um, in this game. There's a difference between a teacher and a coach. There's a big difference. I think anybody can be a teacher. I could teach that person you said that just walked in on day one. I could show him something and he could go home and show it to his family or someone, you know? You just taught something. It's not just about showing moves and showing you know what I mean? Like, being a coach, you gotta be a little more involved,
Yeah.
be more direct, get a little personal with them, get to know the person, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's a big difference. I think that's a problem that we see a lot today in the world of martial arts. There's a lot of teachers, which can be good, but I don't feel like there's a lot of coaches, you know?
Yeah.
And I try to really do that the most, you know?
And just the investment it takes to be a coach and a good one. Like you said, it's not just about the skills, it's the day-to-day grind,
Yeah.
knowing your students emotionally, personally, what's
Yeah.
going on in the gym. Sometimes you probably don't wanna know what's going on outside of the
Right.
gym, but, all those
They'll tell
factors
you.
that make a difference. Yeah.
They'll tell you.
Yeah. So after that initial quit, you come back, you're motivated to get into the jujitsu world. Were there any other times after that, any other difficulties or humps in the road where you're like, I think I'm going to quit again? Or after that, were you like, okay, I'm in it for the long haul?
I was in it for the long haul. I
Yeah.
really was, no matter what I had going on outside my life, whatever problems I had, it didn't matter. Like, I couldn't wait to go to the gym. I was like, that's my escape. I can't wait to get there, and whatever I got going on, it all goes away, and I'll figure it out afterwards. And
Mm-hmm.
I usually feel good after the gym. Be more clear. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it always helped me. I loved it. I never wanted to quit, really. Maybe one more time once I got my brown belt later on down the road, but that was for something else. But for the most part, now I've been in it. I love
Yeah.
this.
What was it down the road? Are you able to share?
I think I was a brown belt for 4 years. And I felt like I was ready for my black belt. And at the time, we didn't really have a consistent coach, someone that was going to belt me and promote me. And so that final year there, I didn't know when it was coming. I didn't know if I was going to get it. I felt deserved of it. And a part of that's probably a little selfish, but again, that's part of your journey. You got to go through that. And I just felt like I was going nowhere. And we also had issues at the gym as well, other stuff that kind of came up, but I just felt stuck. And I felt like I put a lot of time into this, and is it really even going anywhere? Like, I'm kind of destroying my body for what? And so that was tough. And there was a time where I almost quit there. And Danny, Danny,
Mm-hmm.
he ended up he called me, he came over to my house, and we had a long talk. And he called me, walked me off that ledge, and I needed that. I was pretty close with Danny. We had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of good talks, between him and, like I said, my first coach. We had some deep talks that I really appreciated, and it helped me make a lot of decisions going forward, not just the gym, but like outside stuff too. And I needed that, and it wasn't a lot throughout. Well, at that time, I was probably like 10 years, 8 years, 10 years in. I didn't have a lot of those moments. I was always giving everyone else advice and talking to everyone else, but never had someone, direct there. But yeah, no, I made it through that. I didn't quit. I came back. I had all my stuff in a trash bag. Swear to God. I put my gis, I put my like medals, I put everything, put it in a trash bag. My belts, wrapped it up, threw it in the back in the garage, and I was like, I'm done. And I was serious. I was serious. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. You know?
You were going to go from one extreme to the other.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I
Well,
gonna do? I don't know. But I was just kind of fed up.
When I think that's what's so interesting about martial arts, but also just the jujitsu journey in general is, you know, the progression. It is not something that you just become this amazing, like you said, master, if anybody truly is like a master in general.
Right,
But,
right.
we know everybody's journey is different. But then to hear it when, I think when outsiders hear, oh, well, how long does it take to get a black belt? And like I said, everybody's journey is different, but you got to go in it, especially when you're some average Joe. You got to
Yeah.
know that you're committing at least 10 years, you know? And like I said, some people pick it up quicker and kind of between competitions and all the other things, of course, their journey can be much quicker or much slower. But I think that's so real when you kind of run into just kind of a lull is I hear that from so many people, uh, higher belts and even lower belts, where you kind of get into this window where it is kind of getting back into the monotonous stuff of where's the drive, questioning if you want to continue to commit to it. Luckily, I haven't hit that phase yet, but I wouldn't be surprised, if it does come down the road. I know I've heard a lot of people say, after you get your, I don't know if they've said purple belt or whatever, it's just a matter of going in and continuing to show up.
Yeah.
But the learning is never ending, but it is interesting because I still feel so fresh and that I have so much to learn and a long ways to go. But as far as once you get your purple belt, you still know okay, there's many years ahead of me. And so I'm sure once you get into that brown belt, I guess I'll ask you, what was it like once you finally got into that brown belt phase?
Well,
Did you think, okay, there's the light at the end of the tunnel?
were you there when I got my black belt?
I wasn't.
No? Were y'all there at the time?
I don't think so. We were pretty late to the game unless you had just gone in. What year did you get your black belt?
So when I got it, January? I got it tattooed right here. I can't even remember. January 18th, 2020, right? I had a feeling it was going to happen that day. Delua, Jean Delua?
Yep.
He's the one who gave it to me. And I had met him previously before that when we took him onto the gym. So I had a feeling that I was probably going to get it that day. It just, everything kind of lined up. And so I was excited for it. When I got it, he handed it to me, okay? And everyone is there. Greatest accomplishment, personal accomplishment, you know what I mean? Like you felt like I did it, right? I felt on top of the world, okay? For 2 hours, right? I remember I went home and I sat down and I pulled it out of my bag. I sat on my bed and I pulled out the belt and I'm just looking at it. And I swear to God, it's the first time I ever had this feeling ever in jiu-jitsu. I felt kind of disappointed. I was like, why am I feeling like this? Because I was like, what does this even mean? Like I'm holding it. I wanted it for so long. And I'm holding it and I'm like, I don't feel different. I didn't get this black belt and I got twice as better. You know what I mean? I didn't feel, I don't know. I felt the same. So I'm just like, damn, maybe it doesn't really mean anything. The belt itself, because I think that's why everyone trains for the most part. Once they understand it and they like it, which should be a given, you kind of train for that next belt or that stripe or for that accomplishment. And I felt like my whole life, not my whole jiu-jitsu life, but towards the end, I was training for the black belt. I wanted that belt just to wear it. And when I got it, I tell you, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, I don't know, like nothing changed. So I was like, that's when it hit me that it's really about the journey. The moments, the practices. I got submitted that day. It was the worst day I ever had. And you just forget about it. Man, that was a very important day or an important lesson,
Yeah.
Same with the good times and the good practices. It's all such a blur to me looking back on it. There's stuff I can't even remember. And I'm like, man, that's what it was really about. That whole journey leading up to here. Because once I got this belt, it doesn't mean I'm done, It's not the end. Like I gotta keep going. And there's more belts after the black, but I don't care about the belt anymore.
Yeah.
I care about now getting better, obviously, but kind of giving back and then helping them see what it's really about. And they're stubborn, they're hard-headed, just like I was. They don't listen. Some of them do, but for the most part, they're like, yeah, okay, whatever, the journey. All right. I'm like, I'm telling you, that's what it's about. Because once you get that belt, you're gonna be disappointed. Because it's not what you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a good perspective too, because once you do get it, it's not like I would doubt many black belts get it and they're like, all right, well, time to hang it up. It's done here. I'm onto something else. it just keeps going. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point. I guess, so if we go back to you just started jujitsu, you're realizing, okay, I'm about to grind it out. And not just striking, but in BJJ. At what point did you actually know that it wasn't just a hobby anymore, that you really wanted martial arts to be like a lifelong path for you?
I think it was when I got my blue belt. Probably when I got my blue belt. Um, Half Gracie gave me my blue belt. He was there. Like I said, he was an affiliate. I don't know if you know which one he is. Half Gracie. He's the crazy one of the family. He was the no nonsense one. He gave my coach his black belt, so we were a Gracie affiliate. And he came and he would show up. Like I don't know, 52 weeks in a year. He was probably there 12, 13 weeks out of the year.
Wow,
And
that's
he was there,
awesome.
he'd come for the week, he'd stay. So he was around in the beginning stage and he kind of knew me a little bit. Um, and then I remember when that day I got my blue belt, they talked to me, they gave it to me and everything, but they talked to me after and told me I had a lot of potential and they were interested to see my journey. Hopefully I would keep coming. Okay. But I think from then, that's when, because I had to survive as a white belt. It was tough. It was fucking tough. And I had moments, not that I wanted to quit, but I'm just sitting there, I'm like, damn, can I even take this?
Mhm.
But I got through that. And then, like I said, I started to survive. I started to feel comfortable. And then once I got that validation from them, it was like, okay, maybe there's something here. Right? 'Cause what else am I going to do? you know?
Mhm.
So I'm like, let me just see it out. Let me just keep going and let's see if it's what I think it is. If not, I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it. I tried. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But if it works out, shit, it's something I like to do. How many people can say that?
absolutely. How did your approach shift as you cross-trained in striking and jujitsu? Were you competing in either one at this time, or, how was your training schedule, or was it just did you have any kind of system or mental
So it
shift?
was I did every class, I did every class every day. I did all the sparring every day. I was going to fight MMA. And this was when I was like 22, 23. And for 2 years straight, every fight that I tried to have got canceled. Opponent pulled out, or the card fell apart, or the date got changed. Something always came up wrong, never on my end. And so that was frustrating to be like in training camp for 2 years straight. Cause it's not just me, I'm training with other fighters too. So when I'm training in my fight camp, when it ends, I got to help him with his fight camp. And so it was constant for 2 years. After the 2 years, that third year, then I started getting hurt. It was just too much on my body. And little things kept happening to where, damn, now I have to pull out of a fight. And again, it goes back to another reason why I have a love-hate relationship for this game. I hated that time period. It was rough. Again, questioning why you're even doing this. Like, what's the reward? I'm beating myself up for what?
Mhm.
So that was very frustrating. After that third year, that's when I decided, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm good in jiu-jitsu. I won a couple tournaments as a blue belt or whatever, but I was like, maybe I can do this because by then it was starting to really pick up and there was like leagues, tournaments going on. So let me just try jiu-jitsu. Let me go all in and competing and doing that. Let me just see if it's the same competition. And it was. I enjoyed it. That was a fun time as well. All those traveling to jiu-jitsu. I did a lot of like super matches, a lot of one-on-one fights. Whether it was at the tournament or whether like maybe there's an MMA fight, we'd warm up the crowd and be the jiu-jitsu before the fight. So I did a lot of those, a lot of IBJJF tournaments, all the local ones. So I was all the way in jiu-jitsu.
How many years were you really focused on competing?
In jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
probably since like 2013 till, I don't know, 2018-ish, 17-ish, somewhere around there. It's about 6 years or so where I was
Yeah.
I was just competing,
Yeah.
taking on whatever I could.
Did you have a preference on whether you liked those one-on-one bouts where it was just kinda planned? What are they called?
super fights, like
Super
super
fights.
matches. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what
Did
they
you
call
like
it.
those more versus, like, tournaments
I didn't
or
care.
didn't care?
Yeah, I didn't care. It was less on the body. It's one fight, get it on, get it over with. So the tournament is a little more endurance, the tournament style. Because at my weight, there's a shit, there's so many,
Yeah.
right? I see these competitions now and they got like 5 people, 4 people in their division. I'm like, I used to have like 18, 20 people every tournament. And so that was hard. But I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. But I think the super match aspect, where it's like all eyes are on you,
Mhm.
I liked that. That was a good time.
Were there time frame and rule differences between the 2?
Not really. It was depending on your belt level, they give you extra time or whatever. But it would just be, submission only. You submit them, that's it. No one submits. It's a draw. No one wins.
Oh,
You know.
okay.
Yeah. So I like that aspect. Just there's got to be a winner. I don't like the whole points aspect. And
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So let's kind of segue into your transition into coaching. So I guess what initially inspired you to move from competitor to coach? Or were you
um,
already coaching like while you were competing?
yeah, by accident, I guess.
Okay.
This goes back to when I was probably a purple belt, I believe. So about 2000 again, 13-ish around that time. We had a purple belt who was a cop. He used to teach the kids class, and it got to a point where his kids are going to school and they just couldn't do it anymore, and he couldn't teach. And I used to go every day during the kids class because that's when the gym opened. I was there early when the kids are training. And I'm just watching, I'm stretching out, I'm doing whatever. And I just watched the class, learn, see if I could pick up something. And I did that for a while. And then it got to, hey, hey, Jace, can you come here real quick? Can you help me, show me this move, whatever, whatever. And so the kids are starting to get to know me a little bit. And then it was, hey, I can't make it today. Can you fill in? Okay. One thing after another. And then he just couldn't do it anymore. He couldn't do it. And he asked me if I would become the kid's coach. I mean, maybe. I said, I'll give it a shot. I don't know. And he goes, because we're going, at the time, he owned the gym. He owned the gym. My first coach, I told you, the Australian guy,
Mhm.
he sold it to them. So he left back to, I think, Australia or whatever. And so they were in charge and they ran it for a couple years. And once he decided to back out, he sold it to Danny. That's when
Okay.
we were just training. And
Okay.
he knew Danny. He knew, he was a good coach and he was starting to do his own thing. So yeah, he sold it to Danny. And then that's when, he brought me in as a second and we went through the name change. That's when we changed it, different breed MMA.
What was it before?
It used to be called the Gun Club. His name was Tony the Gun Bonello. Yeah, yeah. So it was called the Gun Club. And then I think they had a little issue with the Gun Club or something. So he had to change the name to Black Belt Universe.
Okay.
That's what it was called. Black Belt Universe, Half Gracie, Texas. And then after that, we went through the name change. So by then he was coaching, and then I was coaching the kids.
Okay.
And I liked it. I liked it. But did I see a future in it? No. I had a good time, and they're learning something, right? They're learning something. None of them competed. None of them did anything. So I did that for a couple years, but like I said, it wasn't going anywhere. And then we left. We left locations. We went to a different location. By that gym, that's when we started to get the Bubba and Dylan and all my young ones that I
Sure.
first started with. They were that first group to where I said, okay, these are my kids now.
Mm.
So this is a whole new iteration. This is different. This is a whole new gym, right? So we got a lot of new people because of that. They started and with me, and it just took off from there. That's when I decided to let's let them compete. Let's take them to tournaments and let's just see what we got here.
Mhm.
We never really, we never took it as serious as we did the adults. It was always about the adults, and I felt it's another mistake I felt like we made back then. We didn't pay enough attention to the youth.
Mm.
And I saw a big gap between like what our gym was doing and what other gyms were doing. I'm like, why are we not connecting? We don't have no kids. We have no
Mhm.
program. We don't have families. And it can't just be a fight gym or just a bunch of adults fighters coming because you can't trust them. You can't trust adults. They got their own life. They make their own decisions. You know what I mean? And they're gonna come and go. But to get a kid to come in and to stay, like you're doing something. Their parents to bring them and to trust you with their kid. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
have to have that in order to be a successful operating place. So that's when I decided, okay, let me start working with these kids and let me see what we can develop here. And they went from, just liking it, loving it to competing jiu-jitsu, then doing MMA. So I've seen from the beginning, taking someone from nothing to build them up. That was pretty cool. That was
Yeah,
interesting. You living through them. That's what I enjoyed about coaching.
for sure. So what was life like outside of the gym for you at this time when you were training and then you're coming in, kind of getting thrown into the early coaching days? I'm assuming all of these were evening classes then, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So were you working,
yeah.
what jobs were you having at this time?
I had a lot of jobs. I had a lot of different jobs. I worked at a grocery store. I worked at a clothing store. I worked, you name it. I used to cut fruit at the stores, at the grocery store. I was a route, like a like a route vendor. I still do that. So I was going from work. I would do that in the morning. I'd get off in the afternoon, and I'd go straight to the gym, and I'd be there all night. That was my routine every single day.
Mhm.
When I first started, I was doing morning and noon classes back when we had our original gym. Um, so I was 3 times a day that I was training early, and I loved that. I wish I could have done that full time, but got to pay the bills, got to work.
Right,
So
right.
I had to get a job, and so I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't train twice a day. So it was only about the evenings. So I had to find a way, because there's other people that are training multiple times a day. So
Yeah.
I'm like, our kids, they're only getting 3 hours a night compared to their, what, almost 10 hours a day. So I'm like, how do we get the most out of 3 hours rather than the whole day? I said, there's got to be a structured way to do this. It can't just be, here's a move today, guys. 90% of gyms to me, I don't know this for a fact, I'm just throwing a number out there. I've been to plenty gyms, and it's kind of the same thing. It's the same thing. You're gonna warm up for a little bit, right? You're gonna run around the class and you're gonna do some stretches. And they kill time, right? And then you do like the technique. Okay, here's a technique, guys. We're gonna do 3 techniques today. And I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna talk for like 10 minutes, and then you're gonna go with your partner, you're gonna do it back and forth. And then, oh, here's a second move, and you're gonna do it back and forth. And the third, do it back and forth. And by then you lose, it's like 45 minutes down. I'm like, who's learning that way? It's too much. You can't learn 3 techniques in one day. You know what I mean? In one night, and expect to learn all 3 moves in 15 minutes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so I just felt like that wasn't productive anymore because I wasn't learning that way. I was like, I don't know how they're gonna do it. So I was like, let me figure out a way to like restructure this whole program, right? And let me figure out a way to teach it to where they're getting the most out of it. They're not getting bored. They're engaged. Um, I always involve, again, competition. So there's a lot of live competition with each other, competing against each other. There's not a lot of downtime at the gym. When it's time for class now, I don't have a lot of downtime. You're always working. And I felt like I had to do that because this is the only time we had,
Mhm.
to this day. Now we're trying to open up earlier classes and stuff like that. That would be the goal. But it's my job as a coach is to figure out how to get the most in 3 hours a night, maybe a little more because they stay late. But yeah, that was my whole challenge as a coach in the beginning.
When they started throwing you in as a purple belt and he asked you to start coaching, did it feel like it came naturally to you, or was it a skill that you felt like you had to
No,
develop over time?
no, you had to develop it. I was out of those kids drove me out of my mind. They wouldn't listen. I couldn't get them to listen and just
What was the age groups at this time? What was your range that you were seeing some of these
we're
kids?
probably from 7 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were real young when I first started. Yeah, they were young and they weren't listening. We weren't connecting, but I mean, rightfully so. I was trying to talk to them like adults and I was trying to do what the previous coach was doing, like verbatim. I was trying to do it and I'm like, this doesn't work. Like, I'm not connecting with these kids. In a way, you kind of have to be a kid when you're trying to connect to them. I can't just be like super strict with them and just tell them one way. They're not going to do it that way. So you kind of, you got to act like a big kid, and relate to them and kind of tone everything down, use less words. And then after a while, they started to they liked me. They were like, Coach Jason, yeah, Coach Jason, like, I understand. And once you get them to trust you, then they'll listen to you. Then, okay, now let me show you this. Let me show you these techniques or whatever. And they pick it up that way. So it was a challenge in the beginning. I mean, it's probably always a challenge, right? No matter who you take, it's going to be a challenge. But I don't know. I feel like I just learned how to connect with each person. And I don't know. It's something that I worked at, but it didn't come overnight. I made a lot of mistakes.
Is that how you would describe your coaching style today?
Yeah, for
Get to know
sure.
the person first, be lighthearted when you need to,
Right.
but then know that you're somebody that they can trust when it comes to
Yeah.
learning what they need to learn.
By my advanced fighters, I'll get on their ass. Like, they know. So I have no problem calling them out. And the great thing about our gym is we have beginners and the fighters all training in the same class. I don't believe in separating people. Unless it's time for them to spar and they got to do their work, then no, they're somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I have everybody training together. That way you could see, like, as a beginner, no, even they got to do it the right way. They got
Mm-hmm.
to do what you're doing. They're not special. You're going to
Yeah.
put in the same amount of work. So it's a team. And, like, again, we made a lot of those mistakes back in the day where it just felt very individual. Everyone has our own goals. And it felt like we were just training to accomplish those goals without, like, helping people involved. It was very selfish. And I don't know. I didn't feel like a lot of on the same page at
Mm-hmm.
certain times. And, but now it's completely different. Everyone has a goal, but we're all on the same page. We're pushing each other. It's just something that I learned from back in the day.
When you guys had the gym switches and the name change, is there a story behind Different Breed?
The initial when we were together,
I mean, yeah, just in general. I mean, do you know why
we
or
had,
when Different Breed started, the whole name?
there was like 5 of us. It was me, Danny. There's a couple people around, and we were just sitting before class. We're sitting on the mat, and we're leaning up, and we're literally like just brainstorming, throwing stuff out. That sucks. That sucks. And then this dude, he trained with us he was a black belt at the time, and he goes, y'all got to do something that's gonna stand out. Something unique, not something just pick a word. He goes, y'all can't do that. He goes, y'all are just different. Y'all different than everyone else. He goes, y'all are a different breed of fighters. And he goes, y'all got to come up with something. And we're like, that
That's
might be
it.
it right there. Different breed. And we're kind of, and we kind of, it was, Danny came up with the logo. He was a Longhorn fan, and we're all Longhorn
Of
fans. So
course.
he was like, it's Texas, we'll do a bull, we'll do it, whatever. And we just kind of brainstormed and kind of made it up on the spot.
That's
But I was
cool.
like, yeah, that kind of fits. That really fits.
Mm-hmm. So then you started getting into the grind of coaching. You decided to commit. Do you
Yeah.
remember your first experience of actually coaching someone in a competition?
I do. I do. It's probably like Bubba. One
Oh,
of those.
really?
Yeah, it's probably like one of them. And they did really good. They surprised us. It was everything that we thought they were capable of. And they were the first, they were the initial, okay, maybe we got something here. So let's keep pushing that maybe we're doing something right.
Was
Maybe
this
we
at a
got lucky.
BJJ tournament?
Yeah, it was just a
Okay.
local tournament. And we did that for a while. Probably for about a year, where I'm like, damn, we're winning. My little group was still like 5, 7 of them that I had. They were consistent and they were winning. And I'll never forget, we went, I think probably the next year or so, we went to, where did we go? We went to San Antonio. It was our first traveling thing. So it was a big deal to us. Those kids, they hadn't left or nothing. So we went to San Antonio and oh my God. They got destroyed. They got destroyed. It was like they weren't focused that week leading up. We had bad practices. They wouldn't listen. I had to get on to them. They're like, it was almost like a vacation. Like, we're going to San Antonio, and they just didn't take it seriously. And man, they learned real quick that you got to practice. If you want to be good at this, y'all can't just come and play around when it's time. You know what I mean? Yeah, y'all got to practice. And they just shelled up over there. They were nervous. They were lost. And I'm like, that wasn't y'all. So what's going on? Why are y'all
Mhm.
feeling this way? Why are y'all? But then I had to kind of do some reflecting. I was like, but I never like talked to him about anything. I was just showing techniques, putting the class together. Okay, we're gonna learn this, we're gonna learn this. I didn't get time to really learn them.
Mhm.
And I felt like in a way I let them down by not being like fully prepared. They weren't prepared, but I didn't, that's on me. So I had to learn that way. I was like, I don't want to feel like that again. I was embarrassing. I was like, y'all are embarrassed. Your parents are embarrassed. We're all embarrassed.
Mhm.
But we're like, that's not us. So from that point forward, I think we definitely started to do better. But the way that I coached and taught and everything, it changed. It completely changed from that day going forward.
Sure. Well, and that's interesting too, because you think of competitions as a coach when you're trying to prep an adult. Still, everybody's different, but
Right.
going into adult practices, you can really shoot the shit and kind of tell them the game plan, expect them to step up in their own way. But
Yeah.
kids is a whole different ball game because there is a level of youthfulness, that there sometimes the main priority is I'm having fun and we're
Yeah.
going on this trip and it's an adventure. So, how do you
Yeah.
actually balance pushing students hard while still keeping them motivated and just mentally strong and actually really conceptualizing the idea of what they're about to do?
Yeah. It is a balance. It is a balance. Everyone's different. Okay. Everyone's different. There's some that I can chew into a little more. There's some I got to be careful with what I say and how I say it, right? Some will get down more than others. Some will get mad and they won't hear you. They're pissed that they just lost and there's nothing that you can say to them. So I don't know. Everyone's different. So I got to approach them all differently. But as long as they trust me, I think I can get through to them. Like what's wrong? Oh, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Clearly something's wrong. All right. And being able to open them up and them tell you how they really feel. A lot of them are scared. They're scared of either competition or maybe they're scared of that person in the gym, their training partner. All right. And I can see that. They look like a different kid going with that other one. But when you go with this one, you shut down and you can see like their emotions change. And that's my job to get in there and manage that and let it's okay. It's okay. But it's not going to get easier if you don't try. If you just
Mhm.
shut down and allow them to, it's not going to get any better. All right. I have to be real with you. I have to be honest with you. I never lie to them. I always tell them that I'll never lie to you. If there's something that's for the adult fighters, if you suck, I'm going to tell you. All right. Because you can't go into a fight. Like, you got to be ready for that. If you're
Mhm.
not ready, you're not ready. Right. Kids, you can't tell them they suck, right? But you got to point out their flaws and help them understand what that is.
Mhm.
Not me just telling you, oh, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. Like, okay, no, this is giving you some trouble, right? Let's figure out how it's gonna work. Cause it might work with this one, but you're not the same. So we gotta tweak it,
Mhm.
right? This is what makes you different. No pun intended. That's what makes you different,
Mhm.
right? These are your strengths. So let's build around that. And I learned that. I learned that from those early days going through those lessons. I tried to all make them be me. You're
Yeah.
going to train like me. You're going to use my techniques and you're going to that's not you.
Mhm.
He's not going to do what you do. She's not going to do what you do. So I'm like, okay, let me give them my, like foundation and then you run with it.
Yeah.
Take it how you want to take it and develop your style and who you are and you'll be okay. But we don't have a lot of that nowadays, I feel.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I mean, honestly, what you just said, Jason, adults need that too. They also need to, hey,
Yeah.
you suck right now.
Yes.
But and
Yes.
that's nice that you not have to worry about how to say that, but it is so true is, you know, just giving them the canvas and the structure and then let them create what they individually can create. And I think a lot of masterpieces come out of that. That was something I, remember from day one, the concept of flowing. You went, like, broke that down through and through with me because I was so into like doing it whatever the right way and all the things, and it was just so awkward. But I remember like consistently, and now even still to this day, you would always just like stop overthinking it and
Yeah.
just flow, and
Yeah.
then everything else will come into play, obviously, as you put in the
Yeah.
time and commitment. And so I think that's cool that you're still instilling that into the kids, is
Yeah.
because all of them have different stories and backgrounds and support systems. And so that's super important.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's cool too when you were trying to kind of take a step back and reflect on what you guys were missing from your gym, and your first thought was we're missing kids and families,
Yeah.
because not a lot of people would say that about working with kids. I've heard so many people say the hardest thing about working with kids is the parents. And
Yeah.
so how do you balance that? How do you balance the different levels of families? Because, from what I can remember about the gym there too, you guys would have the whole wall lined up of parents sitting in
Uh,
and watching. And as I've gone into other gyms too, and I think that's what's a cool thing about it too, is, the parents are invested and they love to see their kids grow and be maybe uncomfortable and in some of these situations. But I know that there's a lot of different parenting styles and approaches. So how do you build that camaraderie with them, but also still sticking to your guns as a coach?
yeah. We have good parents. We really do. I'm thankful for that. We don't have those issues. I mean, something is going to come up all the time in athletics, right? I dealt with it in baseball, right? Back then, parents were fighting each other, fighting the coach. So I've seen the extremes. Nowadays, I don't know. I just feel, I always tell them, like, just trust me, right? Just put them at however long the kid's going to do it. Let them do the class, watch the class, and just trust me, right? I'll get the kid to connect and relate, right? And you'll see that your kid likes it. You'll see that your kid enjoys doing it. It's asking you to take him to the gym, right?
Mhm.
Once they see that their kid, I don't have to do a lot of convincing to the parent. I don't think, because it's not about them. It's about the kid.
Mhm.
So if I can get them to like it and get them to relate, the parent will see, okay, because it's about your kid. You love your kid, you support him. If that's what they want to do, you're going to allow them to do it. But when you
Mhm.
know that they're in good hands, they're going to be taught lessons, right? Discipline, but it's a good place for them to connect. Their
Yeah.
friends are here, they're whatever. So if I can convince them that from through their kids, it becomes a little easier. And once the parents see, okay, I can see some progress too with my kid, not just in the gym, outside the gym. He's not acting up as much. It's like, okay, I trust you. And now it's to the point, like, some of the parents, they just drop them off. They're like, you deal with them. We
Yeah.
don't get a break. We'll be back for them later. I was like, that's
Yep.
fine. Keep them. They can stay as late as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Absolutely.
to get that level of trust. That's what it's about. We all got to trust each other. I got to
Mhm.
trust that you're going to bring your kid. There's days where I'm like, man, why weren't you here? Why weren't you here? But I got to
Mhm.
realize, like, I should be talking to the parent.
Yeah.
They can't drive themselves. So it takes a level of commitment from both of us.
Mhm.
And as long as we have that, then we're good. But like I said, I'm thankful. We got great parents.
Yeah. What values or principles do you try to instill into your students from day one? What would you say?
You gotta break whatever guard you have. You gotta bring it down, right? You're gonna be, like you said, uncomfortable. You're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be unsure. You're gonna question everything that we tell you when you walk in for the first time, right? What you have to work on, I can help you, but you have to bring that down, right? You have to lower that down, and you have to just be willing to trust us, right? And trust what we're telling you is gonna work. You don't know what you're doing anyway. This is all new to you. So everything that you do is not wrong. You're uneducated. You don't know what this is. I can't blame you for that. So everyone is afraid to ask that stupid question,
Mm,
right? Or do that move. I feel awkward here. I feel, well, it's all awkward, right?
yeah.
It's just jujitsu's not perfect. So if you can accept that, lower your guard and just be willing to learn. Just be willing to try something new. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna help your journey, which is gonna help. It's gonna make it easier for me. You know what I mean? And we're gonna be able to communicate with each other.
Yeah. And not even in martial arts. I mean, that what a valuable lesson to have just in general, because I think for any situation, whether these kids are in school, as they're transitioning out of school and going into whether it be the next level of school, college, or getting
Yeah.
into their first job, meeting new people, all the things is you have to be able to let your guard down, ask questions, know
Yeah.
it's going to be uncomfortable. That is life. And
Yeah.
so, how cool. That's super, super important.
Yeah. It's problem solving. I tell
Mhm.
people jiu-jitsu is problem solving, right? I don't think any situation that you have outside of the gym is gonna be worse than any moment in the gym when you got someone on top of you, crushing you. I can't breathe. They're trying to choke you or trying to do whatever. Like that's a very oh shit moment
Mhm.
feeling. Once you're done with that and maybe you solve the problem, maybe you don't. Once you take it outside in the real world, you're like, man, my problems ain't that bad. Right?
Mhm.
It's just like jujitsu. I gotta find a way out. I gotta figure it out. But I can't rush it. I gotta be patient. I gotta find a way out. What's the way? I don't know. But that's up to you to figure out. All right.
Yeah.
There's a way, but you just keep practicing, you keep showing up, and you realize, okay, it's a little bit easier to deal with.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's just like you said, it's a relatable lesson to the real world.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, so you guys go to San Antonio. You get your butts kicked, to say it nicely. Now, I mean, that was way back when. You guys have been to a number of competitions and still have many to come. Do you
Yeah.
have any specific rituals or routines or anything that you follow on competition days as you lead up to it?
Um, not really. Um, why change anything? That's how I always feel. That's what I tell everyone else, those fighters, like, do the usual. Get rest, wake up, do your normal routine, right? Eat something, you don't eat heavy, eat something, just do things that you would normally do, right? You
Mhm.
can't control later, right? The competition's gonna be there. What are you gonna do that's gonna change anything, right?
Mhm.
So just relax. Relax, take it as a normal day, and just focus on what you got to do,
Mhm.
right? Because you can't put it out of your head. You know what I mean? Like that you got that fight coming up or that competition. So um it's not going anywhere. Just focus on that. Try to see the outcome. Try to visualize things, in the fight. Like just kind of live in the moment.
Sure.
Right. But don't get out of your element. Don't freak out. Don't change no routine. Just keep it simple.
Sure. I like that. Because I think that's something that comes with competitions, and I haven't been a part of many, but enough to know that the nerves already get amped up. It's something new, so there's already a whole lot of new going on that
Yeah.
day that you probably don't need to add to the chaos
Everybody's
of it all.
nervous.
Yeah.
Everybody's nervous. You're never not gonna be nervous.
Right.
So you just gotta deal with it.
Right. I like it. Is there a specific coaching moment or just overall breakthrough with a student that really sticks out to you?
Man, I've had a lot of them, as you
Mm,
know, for man. I think the personal stories are the ones that can like the at home situations or the real personal live situations. I think those are the ones that are a little more special to you, that you connect a little more because it's deeper than just a competition. Like this kid needs someone in their life, or this kid just needs a deflection from what's going on. So
mhm.
when they come to the gym, I don't want it to be a place where they're getting yelled at, and they're being punished or they're being like, you may not be a great kid at home. I understand that, right? But what's wrong? What's the problem? Right? And I think if I can help you release whatever that is that you got over here, it becomes a little easier for them.
Mhm.
Okay. Like I'm clear headed. Okay. I'm starting to, like I said, let that guard down. And now I'm able to talk to coach and let him really know what's going on. Now we can see each other's side, and I can be a little more understandable and vulnerable to your situation.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, again, it goes back to that coaching aspect. That's what helps. I think that's what helps get a student even better is when y'all can connect on stuff like that. And
Mhm.
again, they trust you. So if they can trust you with their personal situation, oh, they're going to listen to you when you're showing this move and showing them how to do something that they like. Right. They like it. So they're willing to listen to you. I don't know. Like I said, I don't feel like we have a lot of that. So it feels good to be, I don't know, a catalyst for that to kind of
Yeah.
start, you know what I mean? Start that because it's all about the youth right now. Right. In MMA, I don't know if you're a big football fan,
We watch
NFL
it.
fan, right? I tell everybody where we are in MMA right now, I feel like we're still wearing the leather helmets, right?
Yeah.
And for football, we're so early. You have your stars and whoever we think are stars, but it's like here and there. It's not
Mhm.
everybody. In the NFL, everyone's talented. Everyone.
Mhm.
May right now, you have your rankings, but outside of that, there's a lot of guys that shouldn't be there.
Mm.
And competitions, jiu-jitsu competitions, there's a lot of kids that shouldn't be there yet. But where we are now, I see so much talent at these fights and these shows. I'm like, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. There's so much more skilled than professional fighters that we see fighting. They're like, that guy's got good stand-up, but his jiu-jitsu sucks. Or his wrestling is great. He can't strike. Don't stay
Mhm.
standing. And nowadays, these kids will do everything.
Mhm.
They do it all. They're
Do you
a
think that's
nightmare.
the most that excites you about just kinda the future of youth MMA and
Yeah.
BJJ?
Yeah. You're about to see some crazy stuff. All
Yeah.
right. Because these kids are doing crazy shit,
Yeah. Well, and
but
that's
they
a
love it.
and there's a sign at the gym that I go to right now, and I love it. It says, "I wish I would have started sooner," or something like that, and it
Yeah.
says everybody that walks into these doors, and I
That
think,
first gym that first gym, I was the youngest. I was 18 years old. Everybody was like, "Man, I'm jealous of you. I wish I started when you were whatever, whatever." Nowadays, I'm the old guy, and they're like 7, 8 years old.
and just
I'm
kicking
like,
ass.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. 'Cause they are
Yeah.
just like little sponges, and so some of these things that, takes adults that when we are starting in their teens or 20s or 30s, whenever,
Right.
it's taken us so long to learn, and then a kid picks it up in,
Yeah, yeah.
a
Put you to
day or
shame.
2, and so it's pretty amazing to see.
No, it's awesome for sure. They're very talented, and I mean that's what I'm excited for. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
big. I think it's gonna be a big explosion on the MMA scene within
yeah.
the next 10 years. You got a lot of 14 through 17, that age range. Man, I'm telling you, a couple years, they're gonna be some monsters. You're gonna see them, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna get to the point in MMA where every fighter is good. You won't be able to pick and choose anymore. You got to know everything, or you're in trouble.
Mhm. Do you think with the rise of just these young, well-rounded fighters, or practitioners, how do you see the game evolving? Do you think the competitions are just gonna get better and these promotions and tournaments that are already pretty well established, are those stakes gonna get tighter and crazier to watch? Or do you think there's gonna be new promotions that are gonna continue to rise and get bigger?
I could see that. I could see the other promotions because there's going to be so much talent. Like I said, there's times where I'll go to competitions and I'll see a kid and he's just learning, right? He's just starting out, but same amount of months that he's been training, that kid's been training too. And I'm like, it's night and day. That kid's not ready for him. There's no way, right? And so I feel like eventually maybe that gets evened out or they find alternatives. Like, I don't know what you could do, but there's always going to be those kids where you're like, you could just see it, right?
Mhm.
You could see the talent and you could see the future. Rather than this kid, he's just doing it, he likes it, you
Yeah.
know? He enjoys it. Maybe he wants to compete. Maybe he was forced to compete. He don't want to be out here. But some of them, like, this is all they want to do with their life. They know as
Mhm.
kids, I'm gonna make it to the UFC, coach. I'm like, okay, all right, that's what you believe. Okay, then you better show it, right?
Mhm.
You better work hard because there's other kids out there that they are. So y'all got to be ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've been through it where you've been passionately in a sport like baseball, where you grind and grind and grind and put it all in, and then you get to a point of being burnt out. You try something new, have a good time with it. How far invested do you get when you see some of these kids that are truly invested? Have you seen any of them where you've started to realize, like, "Ooh, I think they're getting burnt out," or where they truly have decided to take a break? And have you felt like
Yeah,
you needed to reach out like your coach did to you, or any experiences you with that?
a little bit, but I think them and their parents, I think they're a little more open into trying other things, which I encourage as well. You want to play football? That's what you do. Go do it. Again, we're in such a new generation where you can make it doing anything if you truly love it. So if you like it and you want to go try it, go try it. Who knows? Right? It's going to give you a reset from this, but who knows? You may develop something over there, and that may be your calling. Who am I to be like, no, you got to be here,
Sure.
right? You got to
Yeah.
show up. I know, it's different. If you have a fight coming up or a competition, no, you better be here. You have to, right? But outside of that, who am I to tell you what to do, right?
Mhm.
Like, I'm not gonna force you to be here. If you
Yeah.
really want to be here and you feel burnt out, then yeah, I'll talk to him. We'll
Yeah.
have that conversation and we'll figure it out. But man, if you gotta take a break, take a break. Like,
Sure.
you know what
And
I'm
do you
saying?
think that that is where your dad's kind of mentality comes into play? Like when they've actually decided, hey, I'm going to compete at this, or I've committed to a fight, is that where that background comes in of, okay, well, then you're going to do it sort of
Yeah,
thing?
you
Okay.
ain't got no chance. Like, you gotta show up. If you don't practice, you're not playing. You didn't show up for practice, you can't play that day, right? So yeah, a lot of that rubbed off for sure. That's the bare minimum. What?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta practice. You gotta work hard. How is that even being questioned? You
Have you
know,
ever had kids that where they've gotten wanted to back out, leading up to it or, super close to it?
to a competition? Oh yeah. Oh
How do
yeah.
you manage that?
Just talk to him.
Yeah.
Be honest with him and just talk to him. Listen, he's nervous too. She's nervous too. Don't let that act fool you, right?
Mhm.
Like, you're all nervous. It's okay. You have that feeling where you're about to walk out. You're like, what am I doing? Like, I should have just stayed home. Why did I sign up for this? Right?
Yeah.
And it's the worst feeling ever. It's just that feeling in your stomach. And I don't know. You
Mhm.
question everything. Then after you're done, you're like, that wasn't that bad. Like,
Sure.
it's never the fight, the competition itself. That's not what you're nervous for. Personally, that's how I feel. It's
It's all
not
the
the fight.
outside stuff.
It's the crowd, it's the lights, it's the walkout. It's all eyes are on you. That's what you get in your head about. Because
Mhm.
once the competition starts, like, you don't even hear them. All that stuff, all this is gone. It feels like I'm back in the gym again.
Mhm.
That's all it is. It's competition. It's competition.
Yep.
So I just, you got to talk to them. You got to calm them down. Just relax. Just breathe. You'll be okay. You'll
Sure.
get through this. You won't even remember this. I got kids that are like that to this day, right before they walk out. But as soon as it's time to go, maybe their music hits. It's just a switch, and it's pretty cool to see that their personality show, the little characters.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Do you let them choose their own walkout music, all that jazz?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh yeah, they do all that themselves.
That's
Be
great.
who you want. Give yourself a nickname. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
that's
know.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you've had a big switch or transition into your coaching. You're not just different breed coach for the youth, but now you are officially a Team USA youth coach. What does that mean to you? Whether it's from a personal level or professional, how was that transition?
It's pretty crazy. Always had visions of doing something like this, but you never really. But man, those kids, they earned it.
Mm.
We had to go to nationals and we had to fight and we had to qualify to make it. Right? This wasn't something that was just given to them. They qualified and they earned it. And man, that's so special to be to earn something. Like you said a while back, we were ranked number one for that ranking, and you look up the website or whatever, and it's not someone's opinion. It's not someone that just decided. No, this was by results. It goes by a point system. We were beating everybody. We're
Mhm.
going everywhere, and no matter where we went, we were coming out on top. And so that was earned. That ranking was earned. They weren't giving it to us.
Mhm.
So same thing that they're doing now, man. It's crazy how far they've taken us. We've always had that reputation, the gym name. We've always had that, but they've put us more on the map more than anybody. Kids have
Mhm.
put us on the map, and yeah, like who would have ever thought? You
Mhm.
know, I never would have ever guessed this was an outcome, but
But it's
it's
pretty
like
amazing too, Jason, and I think that goes to show a little bit about you is, I think a lot of people even still today, there's still a lot of people out there that don't know a whole lot about martial arts. And if
yeah,
they do, they think of adults, UFC, WWE, boxing, and they have very little understanding of just even where the youth side of things are. And so for you to
yeah,
see that 10 years ago and know, hey, I think what we're missing here are kids.
hmm
And then decide in that moment to fully commit and then look where you are now. And it's not done yet. So I
no,
can't wait
no,
to see where you guys go from here because to see somebody as invested in youth, I think that's going to be inspiring and a reminder to other coaches too that I think it's pretty easy for some places that do it all to really get hyper focused on those adults and those really high level and advanced competitions, but also to remember that, hey, they all started somewhere. And so that foundation in those early years are just as, if not more important than by the
yeah.
time they get into adulthood. So,
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, you can't trust adults. They're hit or miss, right? They have their own issues, but I don't know. I feel like if you get a kid to like it, they're in for the long.
hmm. Yeah, so then you've been in a couple different spaces, but you recently got into a brand new space and evolved. I'm bummed I haven't checked out your new spot yet,
Oh
but
yeah,
we
yeah.
will next time we're down there. But, is there anything that you wanted to change or do differently when you transitioned into this new space or keep it the same and just keep grinding?
I mean, it's still the same mentality. It's still the same hard training, hard coaching, but it's a new generation. You got to be able to adapt. You can't be stuck in your old ways. Those old jujitsu principles. I appreciate them, right? We appreciate them and respect. We respect that. But if you don't evolve and get with, like I said, these youth, what they're doing nowadays is different than what they were capable of back then. So you got to be able to, again, adapt and mold these kids differently. Still give them the same values and principles, but like I said, you got to shift it because they don't work that way anymore. They
Mhm.
don't see it the same way we see it. They're a little more free. They're a little more, just open, right? Um, Athletic wise, my God, it's night and day. Like some of these
Mhm.
kids, they're nightmares. 17, 18-year-old kids. Like, and you're like, that's not how I remember 17, 18-year olds back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, they're just so talented and they're so smart that I mean the sky's the limit for this generation for sure.
Absolutely. So through all the gyms that you've been a part of, whether it be from a, competitor and just practicing and learning to then merging into coaching as well as traveling to other gyms, has there been a gym culture or environment that you've had to unlearn or one where you're like, "Oop, I don't this is me where I kind of need to adapt or this is a part of my environment that we're going to try and take it out or adjust."
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of like I talked about those mistakes that we learned from. Boy, it's rough. It's going back to the adults managing those emotions. They're so emotional. So when one thing I can appreciate about the kids and the teens, yeah, they have their emotions as well. But adults, you add emotions on top of ego. I mean, all hell can break loose, right?
Mhm.
And in such a I don't know, I don't want to say competitive space, but the way a gym is, you know how it can get.
Mhm.
The tension, all that shit. It's just it could be a recipe for disaster. And then trying to manage those emotions again, it's very difficult. And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them, you know, people tend to not get along, right? They don't get along. I think that was our main issue back in the day, not knowing how to bridge those gaps between fighters who they didn't even respect each other.
Mm.
Like maybe you have an issue with him, but you gotta at least respect the guy, right?
Mhm.
And there was a lot of those instances back in the day where I felt like that wasn't the case. And you can't grow that way. You can't grow that way. We can't be using each other for personal gain. Yeah, we're training together, but when there's like some different motives behind the way you just hit me or kicked me,
Mhm.
that that could be tough to manage.
Mhm.
So the ego aspect, the whole man, we're a team. Like, what happened to the team aspect?
Right.
Like I said, I love sports. I love all sports. You know, I love football, I love basketball, baseball. You got to get along with your teammate.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question about it. One relationship can ruin the whole thing, right? So if you
Mhm.
can't even respect your training partner, then you don't respect your coach and you don't respect the gym, right?
Right.
So that's that one little instant it can turn into a whole thing. So you got to man, you gotta have some sort of discipline in there, and we gotta have some sort of culture in there. You don't have a
Mhm.
culture, you're not gonna last. You have to. There has to be some. You got to put your foot down and let them know this is how we do things. Like I said, that whole team aspect, I think, gets lost big time. More than team, like it's damn near your family, you know? I
Yeah.
see most of these people more than I see my family, my real family day to day. I'm with y'all more than anyone else.
Mhm.
How can I not respect you or get along with you?
Right.
Like this bigger than just us training together, you know?
Mhm.
So that can be that could be a gym killer.
Sure.
I've seen a lot of gyms fold because of that. So yeah.
Mhm.
Probably that main thing.
Yeah. And I think, to wrap all of that up, it comes down to ego. I mean, you said
Oh,
it
yeah.
multiple times throughout there, but managing that is just a whole different ball game.
Mhm.
But again, important in any aspect or environment, whether you're at work, in the gym, between a coach, between if you're a competitor coming in just to learn, it
Yeah,
all comes down to ego. And so, yeah.
for sure.
Are there coaches currently or training partners, whether it be from the early days or still today, that influence you as a coach?
Sergio, you remember Sergio?
Yes. I'm
Sergio, yeah,
hoping
yeah,
I'm hoping I can get him on the podcast at some point. I'd
for
love to
sure.
just pick his brain.
He's a great guy, man. He helped me more than I think even he realizes. So I've told him before, but man, he was so good. He was always a belt higher than me. And so I looked at him. I respected him, but back then, not everyone wasn't friendly with everybody. You know, everybody, maybe they said hi to you, but they ain't talking to you.
Mm.
Like Sergio would always come up to you and greet himself. He talked to you. How you doing, man? How's everything going? He would just talk to you. I was like, man, this is a cool ass dude. Like, you know, I respect him a lot. And I just got close to him and just friends. And then we was training partners and he was really good. He's bigger, stronger than me. But the way he would work with me, I liked it. And he was giving me a push, but he would let me work. So man, he helped me a lot. I looked up to him a lot. I asked him a lot of questions. We had a lot of brainstorming sessions at certain classes before the gym. So we were in it, man. And he's one of those ones that jiu-jitsu side, man, he made a huge impact on me.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool that you guys are still connected today.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm trying to get him back over here.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get him to move back to Lubbock, but
I don't blame you.
yeah, yeah, that's my boy.
So, now let's kinda talk about what's to come. So, what do you envision for Different Breed over the next 5, 10 years?
Man, the global stage, like we're getting glimpses of that. I'm trying to take this, international, trying to take this places that we never thought was possible. We go from all these little local tournaments and now we're traveling everywhere, damn near every other month, it feels like.
Yeah.
doing stuff that we never got to do. So really putting our name out there on that stage, I think would be a goal. Not that we're done here, right? We still got a lot of work to do.
Mm,
I got other fighters that I got a whole team that I haven't unleashed yet, but
yeah.
I got a lot of them that are ready to go. Just waiting for the right time. Like I tell them, just trust me. You may think you're ready, you're not ready yet, right? Just give me some time, right? And so I got a lot of those students. I got a lot that are currently competing. Um,
Are you guys strictly staying in the BJJ realm? Are you guys dabbling in MMA? Both?
this is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all MMA. This is Jiu-Jitsu. I'm trying to take over everything.
Yeah.
I want to have the very best team. We've always had a great team, a tough team. Our problem is we never had the numbers, right? So when we go to these competitions, wherever we choose to go, there's other gyms that, yeah, we may have like 15 students. They got like 40,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you watch the quality of them, I'm like, half of them kids, no offense, they shouldn't be out here. That kid's not ready. That kid's crying, right? He
Mm-hmm.
just got hurt on the mat. What is he doing out here? So I feel like a lot of the time they're pushing, right? They're just pushing students to compete, whether they're ready or not. They're sending them out there and they have the numbers on us, right? Which is okay. I'm not whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when all of my students go, every time they look up the list and they see, oh, it's someone from different breed, they're like, damn, that's going to be a tough fight or that's going to be a tough match. You know, they're not going to be a slouch,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm not going to allow that. If you're not ready, you won't be out there.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look good on me. It doesn't look good on anyone, right?
Yep.
So I have to protect you as well as I have to protect us. That's a culture thing. But you got to work hard and you got to be deserving to go compete. That's a privilege. It's not just you wake up one day, I want to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Have you worked at it? Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
So I make sure they're all ready. So no matter who I send out there to competition, damn, you see that name on the list, you might be in trouble. So it just, again, goes back to that culture thing. That's what I've always wanted. I wanted that reputation. And I feel like for the most part, we have that. And it's not just here now, it's other states,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
So is that kind of the legacy that you want for the gym competitively and culturally, is knowing when people see you guys and watch you compete and it's going to be,
Yeah.
you know, all out, a
Yeah. Yeah.
grind.
I think, yeah. I mean, obviously you want that. I want that to be the standard.
Mhm.
That's always the culture. But I want us to just be known as a place where you can go and do something with your life,
Mhm.
right? Or do something to help better your life. You don't have to do this as a career, you want to do it as a hobby, do it as a hobby. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I want it to be a place where they know, oh man, if you go there, you're gonna get something out of it, right?
Yeah,
You're gonna get, maybe
absolutely.
you didn't like it on day one and you walked away. Well, maybe there's a lesson learned there.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna try to give you something out of however long you're there. You're gonna learn something, and hopefully you take it. Hopefully it's good, hopefully it's positive, but that's you. I can't always control that.
Yeah, for sure. Any big projects, events, or expansions on the horizon? What's coming up?
A lot of competing. We're gonna have October. I can't remember the date right now. We're looking to have our own jujitsu show.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's something we started, kind of a separate promotion. It's called Seven Sins Promotion. And we're gonna start throwing our own grappling shows and competition and hopefully work our way up to we're throwing full MMA shows.
Going to be in your gym?
No, it's gonna be it's like some sort of convention, like
Okay.
some bodybuilding convention, but they're gonna have all types of events out there.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna give us a space where we can set up. We're gonna try to probably like build a pit, like one of those new pits with the walls,
Mhm.
and have like 20 to 30 matches and just do it the right way. Do it back to that super match aspect that I talked about, the one-on-one. You get one fight against someone who's great. All right.
Yeah.
I want to make sure the matches are great. If you're just starting out and you're not as good, that's kind of not what we want. We want to have like the best
Sure.
fighting the best and no bullshit, no fluff in between,
Yeah.
no intermissions. Man, let's get to it.
Yeah.
make it mean something. So that's something we have coming up in October.
That's
We're
great.
looking to do that. Yeah.
Who's we, Jason? Are you working with somebody else to
So,
kind of get this rolling or?
yeah. Steven Rodriguez. I don't think you ever met Steven.
Mm-mm.
He's been with me since the beginning too. But that first gym that I started, he was training with me, and he's just always came and gone and trained with us. Great guy. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu now, but yeah, he just always came in, checked in on us, never forgot about us. And then towards the end there, when Danny stepped away, he ended up selling it to me and Steven. So we're co-owners
Okay.
in this thing. Yeah, he takes care of all the business stuff, all the financial stuff. Man, I couldn't do it without him. Him and
That's
his wife
great.
Karen. Yeah, they've done a lot for us. So yeah, I was like, you take care of that side, we'll take care of the coaching side, and
Yeah.
we have that, and it's
Well,
cool. It all
you'll
came
have to
together.
let us know when that gets up and rolling, and we'll come down and
Yeah,
check
for
it out
sure.
and support you guys for sure.
Hell yeah.
Very good. Well, how would you define success now as compared to when you started this whole journey?
What I define success? Personal success?
However you want to take it.
Uh, Personal, I would say, man, I feel like I have a purpose. You know, I'm doing what I love, which is great, obviously. Not too many people get that, but I have a purpose, and I
Mhm.
feel that. I feel the responsibility. I feel that I have a lot of people's not just careers but lives in our hands, and I don't take that for granted. I think that's a big deal, and in a way it betters my life because I know I got to be dialed in. If I'm slacking, it's going to reflect, right?
Mhm.
So it's bigger than just me, but at the same time it helps me work on me. So
Yeah.
I'm good. Like I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm great personally. As long as I have that in order, that everything just falls into place.
Yeah.
Like I said, I enjoy what I do. There's days where I'm so tired and I'm so sore, I don't want to get up. But I'm like, I want to go to the gym today. Like, I
Mhm.
don't even think about it. There's a lot of people now who I see that in them, the opposite, where they're like, "Oh, I'll show up a couple days, or I'll be back next week, or I'm just, they're slacking." And I never understood that concept. Never. I can't relate to that.
Mhm.
That's who you are. I respect it, kind of. But I'm from where I show up every day.
Mhm.
No excuse. Like you don't have an excuse because I've been through the worst of it and I still showed up.
Yeah.
So I can't relate to bad work ethic. I never have. And if you have that, it's probably not going to be a good fit at the gym for
Yeah.
you. And that's okay. We all have different goals and passions. If you're not as dedicated as I am, that's okay. But
Mhm.
it's probably not going to work for you.
Mhm.
Right. So I think, yeah, I would probably say that is the most that I get from success. It's not the money, right? It's not the accolades are cool, right? Being able to win and have these individual or their individual achievements, that's cool. Winning belts is cool, but it's bigger than that. Or that they have a place to go and they're gonna have a good time, they're gonna learn, they're gonna get better. I mean, what more can I ask for?
Mhm. Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people can say confidently that one, that they know themselves, or two, that they really have felt like have found their purpose or have
Yeah,
even committed or, tried going for it and have settled in with complacency or maybe not truly trying to dig a little bit deeper and find out
yeah.
maybe who they really are.
Yeah,
So
like
I
I have
think
a
that's
friend who
great.
he has a great life, great family, but he has a job that he doesn't really love. He works a desk job and he's like, "Man, my back hurts, my wrist hurts, all this hurts from sitting." I'm like, "Well, my back hurts too and my wrist hurts too, but at least I'm doing something I love." You
Mhm.
know? It's something that I'm okay with doing that. Like if that's how
Mhm.
I'm gonna feel, but I'm doing something I love, then I can't be mad at that.
Yeah,
What do I have to complain about?
absolutely. Very good. Well, Jason, I want to end every episode with kind of a two-part question. So, the first question I have is what is something that you wish didn't have as much of a grip on you? And what's something that you wish you had more of a grip on in your life?
That's a great question. I would say like the outside pressure to like have a family of my own,
Mm,
which is something I've always wanted. My personal life. I've put that on hold for this, for my career, for them to have a career.
mm,
And I've always been like, don't force it. Don't force my personal life. Don't mix it with the business side. Like just let things come, let them come to you. I think I've learned how to balance that and not to be so like again in a hurry to do
mhm,
personal stuff because I know there's
mhm,
a bigger goal at hand and I can't do both right now.
mhm,
Like my personal side away from the gym that not a lot of people know about, I try
mhm,
to keep private, right? Um being okay with that and being okay with what I'm doing, I'm thankful I have a grip on that.
mhm,
I have both sides kind of taken care of. I'm not conflicted. I'm not distracted. One doesn't affect the other. That feels really good to me. And it's like a thank God.
mhm,
'Cause I've seen the other side where other people have struggled with that and it's all fall apart.
mhm,
And that's something that I learned from. And it's like, okay, if I can manage my personal life and be okay with who I am there, right? Then everything else will be easy. I can give 100% when I'm at the gym or when I'm
mhm.
helping this person. I'm here, right? I'm not distracted. So having a good grip on those two aspects, I think, yeah, that's done wonders for me for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, and like you said, something that you wish didn't have as much of a grip on you is just those outside pressures.
Yeah,
I think everybody can relate to that too, whether it be how a family's supposed to look or how your
right,
job is supposed to look, finances, all the
right,
things, success in general. I think those can weigh heavy on people. And so, yeah,
for sure.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. I'm thankful for that. Wasn't easy.
Hmm.
It wasn't easy. It's been a tough journey, long journey. Like I said, good times, bad times, but it's the journey, right?
Hmm.
And I'm glad that at my later years, I started to understand that it's all about the journey and whatever you do, don't skip those days. Don't take those days off and try to remember those days, even the bad days that you wish, man, I don't want to think about that anymore. Now, sometimes you have to because you
Hmm.
don't want to go back to that, right? Or you
Yeah.
realize the mistakes you made in your past is for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know, it just shapes who you are. As a person individually, which ultimately helps with, yeah, whatever else you decide to do.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, Jason, it's been an honor. What a awesome experience this has been. I appreciate you being
Of
patient with
course.
me and diving into the deep water, not knowing what this whole podcasting situation was going to be like, but I appreciate you trusting me and taking
Of
the
course.
time to sit down and just shoot the shit because you got a lot of really, really great shit going on. So,
Yeah. No, when you told me about it, I was like, I mean, that's cool, podcast. And then you tell me it's gonna be about like martial arts and stuff. I'm like, sign me up. Like, hell yeah. I think that's so cool. You know?
absolutely. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for those that are listening and are wanting to follow along with Different Breed MMA and see the successes of their youth and adult competitors, check them out on Instagram at differentbreedmma.tx or .texas. Or you can follow Coach Jason on Instagram at Maze, MAZE underscore MMA. Give them a follow. Go check them out. Watch them compete. They're little badasses. They got a really cool coach. So, I appreciate it, Jason. Look forward to seeing you guys again too.
Of course. No, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. I saw a lot in you and Gavin when y'all first started. I could tell how y'all connected right away. And like I said, that makes my job easier when I see y'all are as into it as I am, you know. And I always felt like I could see when we would talk, you would have like that spark about like just learning and wanting to get better. And I was like, that's interesting. I can tell. I can always tell. All right. And you
Yeah.
had that. And to see y'all keep going like, and to take it even further, I'm like, see, like that's what it's about for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like doing what you're doing, like that's rewarding to me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
So As much as you appreciate it, I appreciate it even more,
Well, you've started and impacted a lot of journeys, and I'm excited to see all the lives you can continue to impact. So keep on keeping on.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you so much. I got to make it down to y'all sometime and go train with y'all.
Absolutely. We'd love that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Of course.
Talk soon.
Anytime. We'll see you.
Thanks for listening to The Grip. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow along on Instagram at The Grip Pod to stay up to date on new episodes. That way you can send over a DM if you've got a question you'd like to hear answered on our roll call series. Now remember, stay sharp, be grounded, and never lose your grip. See you next time.